everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Durkook or whatever you like to call me. I'm back and I'm so nervous because I've lost all of my, video speaking confidence. So please bear with me if I stumble a little. And my nails are still long, but they're a little crooked, so I'm still wearing my long nails. Yeah, my actual nails are long, but they're a little crooked now. I styled them for an event and then now they're so crooked, it's been so long. Anyways, today we are talking about a video that I promised last time and then I went on this long break, and yes, I know I take very long breaks, but that's it for the introduction. Let's start with the video. It's the Phantom Tollbooth, and I'm trying to hide the name of the previous owner because I got it from a thrift store, and the previous owner was a student. And yeah, remember when I told you about reading children's books and the benefits of reading children's book? If you don't know, you can check out my previous videos. I don't know how to link them, but you can check out my previous videos, and in that I have talked about the benefits of reading children's books, okay, and how they can help you get over number one, uh, brain brain rot or reading slump. They can help you get over that, and how you can learn many things as an adult reading a children's book, the different perspectives you can give to it. Now, I do not have any other notes except for the one that I wrote in the book, so I'll be checking back with them while I talk with you guys. You won't know that because I edit it out, but yeah, that's what I'll be doing. So the book the book is about a kid named Milo. By the way, this is just part one of the book, okay? This is just part one, and if you like it, then I'll keep creating more parts. But this is just part one, okay? So this book is about a kid named Milo, and this kid Milo is known to be like someone who gets bored really easily, or no kind of activity can, keep his attention for longer. This is what we learned about Milo so far, okay? And he's just someone who didn't know what to do with himself. That's all we know about Milo till now. And this book is about him. And there's also shown that the bird around him was sort of shocked that he gets bored so easily, or there's nothing for me to do when he says that, okay? So one afternoon when Milo is returning home, he noticed that there's a big parcel waiting for him. By the way, in this book, in this video, you might find some spoilers for the book, so if you want to read it, it's a children's book, but if you want to read it and you don't want to know, you haven't read it yet, because this was my first time reading it too, so you can come back to it after you have read it. But if you want to read it with me, then that's fine. Okay. So when Milo gets home, he sees that there's a big package waiting for him, all right? And it's quite square. It was definitely not round, and these type of words are written in the book. It's very well written, so even after this video you can read it. It's very amazingly written. And in the it was a big box and something Milo has never seen before, and it has an envelope that said, for Milo who has plenty of time. Remember when I said Milo gets bored easily, no kind of activity can keep his attention. So it means that he has so much time and he has not much to do. So the envelope just said, for Milo who has plenty of time, alright? Now when he opens the envelope, there are words written, one genuine turnpike toll booth, and something that's easily assembled at home. It also said, for those who have never traveled in lands beyond. Alright. Now, Milo does not understand what the package meant, but like I said, he was bored, he didn't have anything else to do, and he couldn't return the package according to him. So what he does is he start assembling the toll booth, right? It also had some following items, and it was one genuine turnpike toll booth to be erected according to directions, 3 precautionary signs to be used in a precautionary fashion, assorted coins for use in paying tolls, map up to date and carefully drawn by master cartographers depicting natural and man-made features. One, a book of rules and traffic regulations which may not be bent or broken. So there was a book of rules, and we read about this book of rules in the future too, okay? In smaller letters in the bottom it was written, results are not guaranteed, but if not perfectly satisfied, your wasted time will be refunded. Your wasted time will be refunded, okay? This is someone who has plenty of time. Alright, so I'll be going to my notes now. Alright, till now I was reading from the book, okay? So I went to my notes. Okay, something that I noticed in this, Milo chose a place because he had to choose a place, think about a place to go to before passing through the toll booth. So he sat in his toy car that he had, a children's car that he had, and he had to think about a place to go to before he passes the toll booth, right? So he was looking at the map, and the map was something, it was beautiful, but it was something that Milo has never seen before or heard of before. It has places that Milo has never heard of before. So he didn't know where to go, but then he was like, why does it matter? So he just chose a place called Dictionopolis. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know, but I'll pronounce it like that. Dictionopolis. And he says the words, oh well, I might as well go there as anywhere. Now, here something I learned. Okay, in the future I realized that this is somewhat talking about our real lives, and somehow it can be, seen as paths we choose in our real life, okay? Now here's the thing, what I learned is that in this age and time, you just choose anything for the future. Like someone in the child will say, oh, you have heard this little children say, I want to be a princess, or someone who's like has seen astronauts, they're like, I want to be an astronaut. Children say that they choose anything because for them anything is possible. But here Milo has no clear direction, and he chooses, like I said, anything, because I think that this is what it's depicting, that when you have no exact location to be at, we don't know much about ourselves or the path or the map, we don't know what the places on the map are, we choose any place. Alright, it's new to him, but instead of dwelling on it, he's choosing whatever. This is what I wrote. Seems to me like he started with no particular destination in mind, because at this stage in life, whatever he chooses would be the same. I cannot read my own handwriting right now. I think my pen was finishing and I tried to write still. Alright, so the next chapter is Beyond Expectations. Now here is where I realized that, okay, this could be about our lives too. Alright. So here Milo reaches the place that was, okay, when Milo crosses the toll booth, everything changes. He's actually in a path to somewhere, okay? So he reaches a place called Expectations, and here I wrote, first step being expectations gives a big clue on what this book will be about. This is what I wrote. I'll be reading my notes as well. Right? So for me, it's more like when we choose a path in our lives, any path, like I said, someone wants to be a princess, someone wants to be an astronaut, and I'm saying these two words because this is the most common things people choose, right? Children, like really young children, I'm talking about, like 3, 4, 5, 7, during this age, right? And the first, after this path, like the first thing, when even in future we choose, if I choosing a path for ourselves, the first thing that comes is expectations. And in this expectations, there's also one thing written: information, predictions, advice, cheerfully offered. All right. So they do offer information, prediction, and advice, but cheerfully. All right. Here he meets a man, and he is called the weatherman. Now, it's not the weather, it's whether this would happen or not. And to explain that, This man says himself, describing himself, "I'm the weatherman, not the weatherman. For after all, it's more important to know whether there will be weather than what the weather will be." I don't know. And when I was writing the notes for this chapter, I realized I've used weather so much. And after this chapter, I started using the word weather, WHETHER, weather. Okay. I started using the word weather so much in my sentence after this chapter. Okay. So this man welcomes Milo into the land of expectations. The weatherman welcomes Milo. Okay. And he has some amazing things to say to Milo. So Milo asked this weatherman, "Is this the right road for Dishnopolis?" He asked the weatherman, okay? He's asking for location. And the weatherman replies, "Now, I want you to listen to this part, okay?" The weatherman says to Milo, "I don't know of any wrong road to Dishnopolis. So if this road goes to Dishnopolis at all, it must be the right road. And if it doesn't, it must be the right road to somewhere else. Because there are no wrong roads to anywhere." Now, if you just sit down and think about the sentence, I really love this sentence because it's not about whether the path we are choosing is right or wrong, because I think we dwell so much on whether the path we are choosing is right or wrong, or if we are on the right path. I'm saying this over and over again. Like I said, please do not mind my stumbling. It's about where it would lead us, because at the end of the day, it would lead us somewhere. If not the thing we were expecting to go to, we would still reach a place which is better for us. We'll still reach some place. Maybe a new experience, maybe a new thing that we learn about the world, a new path that we open the door to. It's still a right road. There's no wrong ways, there's no wrong paths. Everything leads to a destination. So this is what I wrote. Something I found to learn from this: in the path you choose in life, whether it's career or anything else, there's never a wrong route, only a right, whether it leads to the destination you want or somewhere else. See how many times I wrote whether? You just get it when you read the book, okay? Read the book, I'm telling you. Alright. Now, here he also mentions another part after this, after telling him that there's no wrong road, there's only right roads and only right destination, because every road leads to a destination. There are no wrong roads, there are no wrong paths, and we really need to sit with that for a minute. He also says something, and that is, of course, he says this. Milo asks him the question, what kind of place is expectations? And he says, expectations is the place you must always go to before you get to where you're going. Like I said, the first stop to whenever we choose a path, the first thing that happens is expectations. Whether we have bad expectations from it, whether we have good expectations from it, expectations is the first path. Of course, some people never go beyond expectations. But my job is to hurry them along, whether they like it or not. So here's the thing. This is something that's coming to me right now while I'm repeating this. And this is why I said, even if you've read a children's book in childhood, do repeat it. Do read it again, okay? It says that some people do not go beyond expectations. Now, imagine you have chosen a path. I'm saying path again and again because it could be about career or anything, like literally anything. Like you want to change houses, move to a new city, it could be anything. So what you do is, the first thing is expectations. Sometimes the expectations are really good. They are good expectations, right? Sometimes there are bad expectations. Sometimes when we have a bad expectation from a place, or we don't know what's going to happen, we are confused, we do not move forward with the step. We just stay there. We do not move forward. We no, maybe not now. Maybe don't. We procrastinate too. I'm a big procrastinator, and that's because sometimes my expectations are so high that I feel like if I feel scared, sorry, turned off. I feel scared that if the action does not happen according to my expectations, I'll be so disappointed that I feel like I start dreading doing the thing. This is a problem with me, so that's why I'm talking to you as with experience. So sometimes, because of our expectations, either good or bad, we uh, give them so much importance of expectations that we do not do the thing, that we do not drive through the path that we have chosen on the first place, and we just stay there in expectations. We don't go beyond that. We are just stuck there. And I think this is a very good line that's written over here. Now, the weatherman is who's hurrying them along. All right. Now, this is something that I realized while I was reading this. Whether this will happen or not, this is what we have to hurry along, because sometimes expectations, like, okay, let's just imagine I'm recording this video and my expectation is it's going to go like so good. It's going to be so good, right? And this is what scared me of making this video. But if I go like, whether it will go good or bad, I have to keep that in mind while recording this, right? So now I'm sitting here recording it, thinking whether this would go big or no. Now I'm planning. Now it's not just, oh, I want to make this video. Now it's just not just choosing this path and not going beyond expectations. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. I wrote over here, it's so obvious that here it's referring to whether you choose one path or the other. It will all start with expectations, but you shouldn't just stay in that part. This is what I wrote. Here he repeats this again, okay? Weatherman repeats this to Milo again, and he says, whether or not you find your own way, you're bound to find some way. Now, whether or not this path is good for you or bad for you, this path is leading somewhere. This path is leading somewhere. It's not the wrong path. Like I said before, you're bound to find some way. All right. Again, whatever way it is, it's still. What did I wrote? It's still reaching somewhere. I have a beautiful handwriting, okay, but sometimes I have trouble reading it. Also, I'm not wearing my glasses right now. It's not that bad. My eyesight is not that bad, but still. Okay, I even marked a part that I did not understand. Now, Milo reaches another path, okay? He reaches another place, and trust me, oh my god, I'm gonna take some time in this, because this part of the chapter was so close to my heart. And you would realize why I take so many breaks between my videos. No, this is not the reason why I take so many breaks between my videos. I was actually busy with some things, and yeah. But this part is so close to my heart because I'm a procrastinator, and you will understand. Now, Milo is driving, and he stops paying attention. There's a point where Milo stops paying attention to where he's going, and where there was a sign that said go left, Milo went right. All right, and the place looked wrong. Okay, it was grey. Now here the description is written. The sky became quite grey, and along with it, the whole countryside seemed to lose its colour and assume the same monotonous tone. Everything was quiet, and even the air hung heavily. The birds sang only grey songs, and the road wound back and forth in all endless series of climbing curves. And it also written that he was driving for mile after mile after mile. He drove, and gradually the car went slower and slower until it was hardly moving at all. I think I'm putting my book down for a minute. Just let's sit with this part for a while, okay? I think we all are understanding where this is leading to. When we stop doing something, when we stop thinking or paying attention to something, it starts slow. We all start doing it slowly, like slowly we are like, okay, we'll do it later, or we stop paying attention to it, even ourselves sometimes. And it takes slowly our brains, the car is our brain, maybe ourselves. Slowly it comes to a stop after moving from the same monotonous life cycle. It stops at a point, and this is a point where everything is like, it's hardly moving at all. Life's moving, life is moving, but it feels like we are not moving. Because I'm sorry, the video keeps stopping and I completely forgot my point. So I was talking about our lives becoming monotonous when we stop thinking, or making our brain work really, or focusing on what we were doing. And sometimes we fall into a cycle that we find it really hard to get out of. And I believe that this is what it's talking about, getting out of this cycle. And even though the car is moving, it seems like it's not moving at all, because at the beginning everything starts looking the same. It's a cycle, and then the car stops at all because our bodies, our brain, we just stop trying. It's not talking about dying, it's just stop trying. Like we make peace with our selves and our bad situation. We make peace with it, and it's really hard to get out of this situation. And here it's described, it looks as though I'm getting nowhere, yawned Milo, becoming very drowsy and dull. I hope I haven't taken a wrong turn. See, in the beginning, expectations was talking about every road leads to somewhere. Every road is the right road, right? Except in the same chapter, the writer went ahead and gave us a wrong road. And the wrong road is where we are not going anywhere, where we are going in circles. A dull road where we are not thinking. If he was thinking, he would have taken the right road. And other than this road, every road leads to the right road, because you can either take any road that takes you somewhere in life, that takes you somewhere, than not taking a road at all, because that's the only road that's the wrong road. So I'm loving this book. Who's the writer? Norton Juster. I haven't heard of him before, but actually it's the first time I'm even reading the fan of Tollbooth, but it's a really good book, okay? Alright. Now, here there comes a point where Milo's car stops altogether. And this is the place where Milo thinks, I wonder where I am. Because that's the point when he starts getting worried. When everything stops at all. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the point when we start feeling, we somehow has make peace with those selves that you're not getting out of this cycle. But at the same time, when it stops at all, this also give us some sort of anxiety. Now, I'm also talking from personal perspective as well, because this is something that has happened to me. Alright? And this is the point when Milo is worried, his tone is worried. And he hears a sound that says, you're in the doldrums. Now, the place is called the doldrums, okay? He looks around to see who has spoken. And, okay, so the doldrums talks about these creatures. So you see some sort of creature that wherever they're sitting, they're taking this color or the face of what it's sitting on. Like if it's sitting on his shirt, it's taking the color of his shirt. If it's sitting on the car, it's taking the color of his car. So he's unable to, my dogs. So he's unable to see them really. And the name would tell you what these things are. The things are called lethargians. And I wrote with a lethargy with a question mark. Is that what it's referring to? But I strongly believe that's what it's referring to. And the space how I'm describing it, right? The mental space that I'm describing it as. Lethargy is something that we feel so, lethargy is something, I don't need to describe lethargy to you, alright? Alright, so he's surrounded by these creatures called lethargians, alright? And their conversation would help you a lot to understand this part, okay? Here I've written the state of stillness in our lives, the doldrums, because the lethargians describe the doldrums. Now let me describe the doldrums in the lethargians' words. They say, the doldrums, my young friend, are where nothing ever happens and nothing ever changes. And I wrote the state of stillness in our lives. That's I believe, if you haven't been through this stage, this is a part of our lives that I believe most of us have been through, the state of stillness. Stop recording again. Okay, so here it talks about I wrote, it is all around, yet can't be seen. Just like usually in our lives, we can't see the problem. In our lives, we are not able to see where the problem lies when we are in the state of stillness, right? Okay, because I've already explained this part and I don't know when the video stopped recording, so I won't go into detail again. I get really tired also. Again, I've started feeling sick suddenly. I don't know why. Okay, so here Milo says something and I would like to repeat his words. He talks to them very politely. He talks to them, I'm very pleased to meet you. I think I'm lost. Can you help me, please? Now he used the word, I think I'm lost, right? And the lethargians says, don't say think. It's against the law. No one's allowed to think in the doldrums. And I wrote, again, not allowed to think. When in the state of stillness, you don't have a serious thought process. Now in the state of stillness, here it's written like in the doldrums, it's a law that you're not allowed to think. But when it's in our lives, we cannot have a proper productive thought process. And it happens to me specifically, or maybe the writer, that's what the writer is referring to. So he says in doldrums, you're not allowed to think, alright? And lethargians are shown as someone who's continuously like dozing off and stuff because they're lethargic, they're representing lethargy. And when one sleeps, the other picks up the conversation. And they ask him to look at the rule book. Remember when I said in the first chapter that we will read about the rule book again? This is where the rule book is written. And when Milo opens the rule book, it says, it shall be unlawful, illegal and unethical to think. Think of thinking, surmise, presume, reason, meditate or speculate while in the doldrums. Now all of these things are not allowed in the doldrums. Anything, like I said, anything productive is not allowed in the doldrums. The state of stillness in our lives. We think that it's more of something that we can find, but over here it's shown as against the law because it's shown as a place and we do it automatically. We don't think, we don't do anything productive with our lives. Okay, now he says everybody thinks, and Lethargian says we don't. And another one, one of the Lethargians says, and most of the time you don't. Now if you think about it, we are not like, oh, we're not thinking, but how many times has it just been that you're really not thinking straight by making decisions, doing things that you're doing it without thinking twice about it, and you're like, oh no, I had this thought process, I thought it thoroughly. No, you didn't. When you haven't thought things properly. We have been through those parts of our lives, and I think this is exactly what it's talking about. Okay, I hope I'm not boring you. This video will end soon, don't worry about it. This is just part 1, and if you like it, then I'll make part 2. right? Or maybe I would, just because I love this book so much, I'll make a part 2 of it. Now, that's why you're here. You weren't thinking and you weren't paying attention either. People who don't pay attention often get stuck in the doldrums. Again, another thing that describes what is happening. Now, over here, something happens. It's written that Milo starts laughing at the creature's strange behavior. And all at once, oh no, and the creature says, "Stop that at once. Laughing is against the law. We don't have a rule book. Don't you have a rule book?" And it's in the rule book it's written, "In the doldrums laughter is frowned upon and smiling is permitted only on alternate Thursdays. Violators shall be dealt with most harshly." Now in the doldrums it's said that you cannot think, you cannot laugh. Now in, think about the time when you were stuck in that situation. Have you ever been stuck in that situation where the life in this is in the state of stillness? We all have been stuck in a situation. Most of us have been. If you haven't, I'm really jealous of you, honestly, because I have someone who gets stuck in this type of situation very often. And we are smiling, like the alternate Thursdays are like we are smiling for others, and we think that we are living a normal life. But are we happy really in that state? We all know we are not happy in the state of stillness. And in the state of stillness, I'm not talking about the time when you just stop to maybe do this for yourself, when you have such a hard hustle life, like, and then you stop for yourself to heal yourself. Not that. That's a completely different thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're stuck in the cycle of lethargy and not moving in your life. And because I'm a writer, I would say it as I get writer blocks, right? And then there comes a time when I could not write at all for months and months and months. And that's what I'm talking about right now. That type of state. This is what I think this is. Not the state of rest when you decide to take a rest. That's a different thing. But in this type of state, we are not really happy when our lives are not moving forward. We don't think of these things as happiness. And this is what it's talking about. Like, I think laughter here is describing happiness. This is what I think, and this is what I wrote. Could be that in the state of stillness, you don't feel happy, but rather unhappy with yourself. This is what I wrote as well. And here Milo is like really like frustrated, and he asks, "Well, if you can't laugh or think, what can you do?" And the Lethargians respond. Now, listen to this, okay? The Lethargians respond, "Anything as long as it's nothing, and everything as long as it's anything." And another explains, "There's lots to do. We have a very busy schedule." They describe this busy schedule in the next few minutes, and in the next pages, and right after that I'll read you the entire schedule, and you'll realize what I'm talking about. I've been talking about this whole doldrums. Daffodil is the flower, right? It's a flower. Doldrums. The doldrums. The state of doldrums is what I've been saying. Alright, so I wrote here, "Doing nothing and believing you're busy." We all do that. Okay, over here I would like to talk about something, an advice I got from the internet. And honestly, when I tried this in my real life, a little break, okay? In my real life, I realized that that's true. Someone said, and they said that we were told by someone in our life, and it said that whenever you're in need, call the busiest person in your life, like that you know is actually busy, not the person who's not doing anything, because the busiest person would know how to make time for you in their life, because they already are used to of making time in their life. While a non-busy person would tell you, "Oh, I can't, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, I cannot show up for you," because they are not used to making this time in their lives. And this is what I learned, and when I tried to take that into my life, I realized that that actually works, that the busiest person would actually answer or the busiest person would actually try their best to make time for you, or take time in their schedule. They will add what you ask them to do. All right, they will try their best. They won't be like, oh, I'm busy, I cannot, but they would be like, let me tell you how this happens. Okay, you ask a non-busy person and they'll be like, I'm busy, I cannot do this, and you're like, oh, I have to go somewhere, can you like go with me? And they're like, oh, I'm busy, I cannot do this. And when you ask an actual busy person, they'll be like, I'll be doing this Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, so maybe I'll take time on Saturday. And that's how they'll make time for what you want them there to be there for. Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small, but they'll make time. They'll find time in their busy schedule because they're already used to of doing that. This was a little extra advice that I found on the internet, and I realized that that actually works a lot in my favor. Now, the timetable that shared, and I just wrote, too relatable. This whole conversation should be read and reflected on. Now, they share this schedule, and I will read it to you. At 8 o'clock, we get up and then we spend from 8 to 9 daydreaming. From 9 to 9:30, we take our early mid-morning nap. From 9:30 to 10:30, we dawdle and delay. From 10:30 to 11:30, we take our late early morning nap. From 11:30 to 12, we bide our time and then eat lunch. From 1 to 2, we linger and loiter. From 2 to 2:30 to 2:30, we take our early afternoon nap. From 2:30 to 3:30, we put off for tomorrow what we could have done today. Remember, procrastination is the biggest part of the state of stillness. From 3:30 to 4, we take our early late afternoon nap. From 4 to 5, we loaf and lounge until dinner. From 6 to 7, we dilly-dally. From 7 to 8, we take our early evening nap, and then for an hour before we go to bed at 9, we waste time. And they continue saying, as you can see, that leaves almost no time for brooding, lagging, plodding, or procrastinating. And if we stop to think or laugh, we'd never get anything done. We'd never get nothing done. Alright? Like they're saying that we are doing so much and we cannot stop to think or do anything else. And like I said, we're so busy. So Myra's like, you mean you'd never get anything done? We don't want to get anything done, snapped another angrily. We want to get nothing done, and we can do that without your help. Alright? So this is all is talking about how it's like they waste their times. They basically they're saying we are so busy, we are doing this, that, and this and that, and basically they are doing nothing. Now, if you think that when we want to get out of this state of stillness, now whenever we are wanting to get out of this state of stillness, what we do? We're like, okay, when do we do this? And like I said, procrastination comes in it for a minute, okay? We think about it, I'll do it from tomorrow morning. Like exercise, for me it's exercise, okay? I'll be like, from tomorrow morning I'll start. Then, oh my god, I woke up so late today. Maybe in the afternoon, but I just ate. Maybe in the evening, and then by the night time, I'm like, I don't get time to exercise. See the mindset over here? To get out of the state of stillness, we are always making excuses like we do not have time to do this stuff. But in reality, we are not taking the time out of our schedules. Okay, this is when they start hearing a terrible noise. Okay, so here they talk about a watchdog, and till this point I did not realize what the watchdog is. Okay, so in the future I realize, and I'll tell you in the future. because I have forgotten what it was. And I would have to go back to my notes to realize what I realized about the watchdog. So they're like, when Milo asks, so nobody does anything here, and the Lethargians say, well, anyone but the terrible watchdog. And he's like, he's always sniffing around to see that nobody wastes time. And a most unpleasant character. A watchdog. The watchdog, shouted another, fainting from fright. So everyone gets scared when the watchdog comes, and it's actually a dog with a watch on it. And when the watchdog arrives, everyone's like, run, wake up, run, here he comes, the watchdog. Everyone's like going here and there that this is the watchdog, he's here. And the Lethargians who are doing nothing and even talking slow like language, and it's like, oh yeah, it's happening. And they start like waking up, running, the Lethargians going because the watchdog is here. Okay, if you can tell me what the watchdog represents, please do tell me. And the watchdog starts barking at everyone. And when Milo look up, there's this big dog with a ticking alarm clock on as its body, right? And the watchdog asks him, "What are you doing here?" "Just killing time," replied Milo apologetically. "You see," and the watchdog's like, "Killing time?" roared the dog so furiously that his alarm went off. "It's bad enough wasting time without killing it." And he shuddered at the thought. "Why are you in the doldrums anyway? Don't you have anywhere to go?" So you can see how important the watchdog give to time, right? I think the biggest problem that we have in our lives is that we do not give enough importance to time. We have to stop in our life and realize that how much important time is for us. Have you ever realized that sometimes there are certain games that you're playing, right? And it's either you can get to somewhere in the game by playing these several levels or waiting, or sometimes there's, have you seen those short form dramas? In that you have to wait every day to either watch the drama, or you can purchase the drama, the coins, and watch the whole thing at one time. So if you just sit down and think about it, either you give money for it or you take time for it. So do you realize the importance of time? I think it's more important than money, and we do not like give it its due importance. We take time as the most inexpensive thing in this world, while we have to really like focus on how important and how special time is. And this is what the watchdog, I believe, represents, because he's like, how could you be killing time? Like wasting time is I'll be doing something and I'll be wasting my time. Like I have to work on a report, and what I'm doing is I'm painting, and I'm wasting my time painting. Painting is not a waste of time. Please do not come after me. I love painting. That's why I just said that. It's not a waste of time, but I'm doing something like playing a game, wasting time, right? I'll be doing anything, honestly. And then it's killing time. Like you're trying to spend time. You're trying to pass the time without doing anything. Like you're doing this purposefully. So he's like, it's already bad to waste time and you're killing time. So that's something like you're purposefully wasting time. You're purposefully spending your time on the wrong things. You're not doing it unconsciously. You're doing it purposefully, and it's more worse than doing it unconsciously. And I think I should stop here because I'm getting a little sick. But here, okay, I'll read my notes. Okay, reading my notes, and a thought popped up. What if, okay, I've written it here, what I thought about the dogs. Reading my notes, and a thought popped up. What if the watch is just simply the watch? We start moving and making effort when we become aware of the time, and a sense of panic comes in. Oh my god, I didn't realize. Okay, I'm getting excited about my own thought process, okay? So I believe that I wrote it later on when I was coming back to my notes. That's why I think you should annotate. I have a video on annotation too. That maybe the watchdog is representing how to, when we are stuck and we realize how much time we have wasted, and the time is not stopping for us. There does come a time when we think that the time doesn't stop for us. When we become lazy, when we don't do anything, when we are thinking, okay, tomorrow. That tomorrow will lead to a month, will lead to a year. The time doesn't stop. We think it's just, okay, tomorrow, okay, a second later. But that will lead to something like a whole year, 2 years, 3 years. The state of stillness can last this long. And then a panic surges in. Now there are two things we can do because of this panic. We could hide like the lethargians. Or we could really focus. See, it did that again. Oh, I just do that. This phone do that. I fixed the camera and I've turned off all the beauty filters, but I think it's something that's in the phone and it's doing this cup thing again. I'll start using my previous phone again after this, and it's also not recording well. It keeps stopping. So when the panic surges in, I'm sorry, I get distracted so easily. When the panic surges again inside of you, you just go, either you can hide when you become aware of the time, you can hide as sergeants, or you can do something to get out of this situation. And this is why the watchdog exists. So Milo asks Watchdog for help, like, can you get me out of this doldrums and get me to Dictionopolis? I think I've been calling doldrums daffodil for a really long time, and I'm sorry for that. It's doldrums. Help you? You must help yourself, the dog replied. I suppose you know why you got stuck. Now, are we aware of why we get stuck in situations like this? Yes, we are very aware of why we get stuck in situations like this. And Milo says, I suppose I just wasn't thinking. And the dog shouts, precisely. And I wrote, indeed, precisely. That is just, he wasn't thinking. All he had to do is think. Get his mind to start working again. See? And to get out of this, I will just cover this part quickly. To get out of this, what he does is he starts thinking again. So the watchdog says, well, since you got here by not thinking, it seems reasonable to expect that in order to get out, you must start thinking. And he gets in the ride with him because, of course, once you get aware of time, everything you are doing with the awareness of time in your head, and you can get things done with the awareness of time in your head. Okay, this is the biggest thing, that the watchdog sits in his car with him to go forward, because now he has to be aware of time. I love this. Okay, now he starts thinking of the most random things. Like, he thought of birds that swim and fish that fly. He thought of yesterday's lunch and tomorrow's dinner. He thought of words that begin with J and numbers that end with 3. And he thought the wheels begin to turn. As now, when you think about thinking, we say our heads wheels are turning, like the wheels begin to turn when we say that an idea starts popping up. Or we are talking about, well, our brain is working now. We can think properly now. And everything begins with a thought process. Everything in this world begins with a thought process. And it was, I don't remember, there were 2 or 3 reviewers that repeated this thing, that if you see a thing like this book, it was a thought process first, and then it was written. So everything begins with a thought process. Like with expectations, it even comes before expectations, I believe. So everything begins with a thought process. Like, he starts thinking about, like, let's take Milo's thought process and bring it in our own life. Birds that swim and fish that fly. Now, if you start thinking about birds that swim and fish that fly, you might want to like research what kinds of birds can swim and what kinds of fish can fly. Many people already know this information, but many people are like, okay, what are other types that we don't know of? So we start thinking that, and then thinking about yesterday's lunch and tomorrow's dinner. Well, I had this yesterday, so I'll start preparing this for tomorrow's dinner, and I'll get up and prepare this. I'm bringing his thought process into my life right now, okay? Words that begin with J, just randomly. Improvement of vocabulary, because you'll be like, these can't, you would think of 10, 20 words, and then be like, these can't be all the words. And then you'll look up how many words begin with J. Do something, like you'll start moving, and this is what happened. The wheels start to turn for the car, but I'm thinking of it for the brain, and they start moving. They start moving. And it's like, we're moving, you're moving, we are moving, and the watchdog scolds him. Keep thinking. Don't go like, oh, I did this today, and then he stops thinking at all, because they have achieved that level of achievement by just moving today. So the watchdog warns him, keep thinking, keep doing what you're doing. Do not stop thinking that I've done enough, alright? And that's how the cars start moving faster, and they get out of the doldrums. All the colors had returned to their original brightness as they raced along the road. Milo continued to think of all sorts of things. Now, I will read my own notes, and then I'll stop a little bit because I'm feeling sick and the video's gotten a lot longer, so it will be difficult for me to edit it now because I cannot edit it on this right now. I have to edit it on my laptop, so yeah, I'll take a little break now. So my last notes for this chapter are, okay, so first I wrote where he says, we are moving, beautifully captured, that way to move is to think. And my last notes are, I love this chapter because it did not just capture that the place lacked color and was not moving, a place of happiness, but also how easy it is to feel comfortable in that situation. Milo was comfortable before the watchdog arrived. Only once you realize the beauty of moving. Okay, only out once you realize the beauty of moving. Also, you can only be awoken or scared by the realization of time itself. I'll be stopping here now because, like I said, I'll only continue if you actually like the series. Also, I fixed the crack of the camera like I mentioned before, and it's still doing that. That's the thing, because I thought that was the reason it was doing it. I turned off all the filters, but I think there are some built-in filters that are showing up, so I'll be recording from my old phone again. I'll try to record from that. And it's been a while. I hope I wasn't blabbering or saying things that didn't make sense, but it was a nice comeback, and I'll see how much longer the video would be after editing it, and I hope it at least makes to 20 minutes, because I think I've said things that I've wasted more time reading my notes and not saying anything. So welcome back. If you did like the video, please tell me that you wanted to continue, and yeah, I'll see how much longer I can do this. No, this is not what I must say. I will do it longer. I'll be making videos for longer. I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, I take breaks in the middle, and I'm sorry for that. And I will continue this series if you like it, or if I want to still continue them, because I really like these books. But do let me know if you actually like that. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. This is me, Durkook, or whatever you like to call me.